Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Papa Top 912 and I'm going to be whipping up another one of my recipes for you today. The recipe that I'm going to go over today is a seafood quiche, and I really do like the taste of quiche, and it's really not a complicated meal to fix. So I'm going to go over the ingredients and then we'll start putting things together, and I'll show you just how simple and easy this can be. So the main ingredients for a quiche is the eggs. So I have 3 large eggs, and then I have a 9-inch deep dish pie crust, and that crust was placed in the oven and cooked for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I didn't time it, but just enough to get the crust kind of done so that when I put the wet ingredients on there, the crust won't be soggy at the bottom when I'm cooking it. You can see there's a piece of crust missing. I'm just going to say that while my back was turned, the pie bandits came into the room and took a little piece of my crust, but she'll remain nameless today. To go along with my eggs, I have heavy whipping cream. I'm going to use 1 cup of that heavy whipping cream. And then this is some bacon that I've rendered down, got all the fat out of it, cooked it up nice and crispy, and then I just crumbled it up in not really fine particles, but you know, some nice rustic pieces so you get a good bite of it. That's 12 ounces of bacon. And then this is 4 ounces of claw meat, and this is all blue crab. And then I have 4 ounces of the lump crab meat. And then I have 1/2 pound of some jumbo wild caught Georgia white shrimp. And then I'm going to use 2 types of cheese today. I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of the sharp cheddar cheese and a 1/2 cup of the Swiss cheese. Now, if I didn't put the bacon in there, I would probably just go with 1 cup of Swiss cheese and get rid of the cheddar. And if I wasn't going to use the seafood and I wanted to use like some fresh breakfast sausage, I would just ditch the Swiss cheese and just use all cheddar cheese. So depending on what you got in your recipe, you know, you can mix this stuff up to match what you're looking for that day. The Swiss cheese adds a nice gourmet type flavor to it, whereas if you were just doing the straight breakfast sausages and bacon, the sharp cheddar cheese just goes better with breakfast foods, in my opinion. And moving on over, I got some parsley flakes, and that's some Jan's Crazy mixed up seasoning salt, and some ground nutmeg, minced garlic, and then I have this green onion, right? That's a green pepper. That's a 1/2 of a Anaheim pepper, 1/2 of a yellow bell pepper, 1/2 of a red bell pepper, and these were small peppers as well. 3 scallions, and just the bottom half. I got rid of the tops, and then 1 large white onion. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all of those fresh chopped vegetables along with the garlic, and I'm gonna just blend it up in my little food processor right there, and I'm gonna make it really fine so that you have the flavor, but you don't have that those different textures that you feel when you're eating it. That way it'll just be more like one consistent bite than having chunks of onions and chunks of peppers and stuff like that. I want those to be there in flavor but not in sight and texture. So that's all the ingredients that's going to go into this quiche. I'm going to now go ahead and chop up those vegetables in the food processor, and I'm going to saute them down just a little bit, maybe 3 minutes, just enough to get the crisp out of them, and then we'll start plating this into the pie crust. When I come back, I'll show you everything measured out, and we'll start plating. Alright folks, so welcome back. Now I have everything all broken down and portioned out and rendered down and sauteed and everything else. I'm ready to start putting my quiche together, but just want to go over it with you again. You can see I really diced those vegetables up really fine, and I sauteed them down with a little bit of coconut oil. And you can see they're not caramelized, but they are, you know, they're translucent and they're soft, and by doing that, you're releasing those natural sugars out of those vegetables, which is going to make your dish just taste that much more flavorful. You know, didn't do anything else with the bacon so far. I cracked my 3 eggs, got my 1 cup of cream. This is the lump crab meat, and this was canned crab. You can use canned, frozen, or fresh. Of course, fresh is always the best. I think frozen to me is the second place, and then the can is the last stage effort. And when they put it in the can, I guess the whatever they do to preserve it, it kind of really takes a lot of the flavor out of that crab. So I take that canned meat and I will try to put some flavor back into it before I cook with it. So what I did, I took some equal parts of the coconut oil and some clarified butter, and just a little bit of those vegetables that I had sauteed already, and a little sprinkle of that Jan's mixed up crazy salt. And I just took that and I cooked the crab for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, just cooking some flavor back into the crab. And then same with the shrimp. You know, those were fresh shrimp, but I cooked them. You can see they're not hard cooked. It's just a light cook on them just to get them started. They'll finish cooking in the oven, but they're basically, you can eat them at that point, but they are still a little not cooked as much as I would want them to be. But I took those and I also used the coconut oil only with a little bit of those vegetables. And then the claw meat, the canned claw meat will maintain its flavor for the most part a lot better than the lump meat will. But so I just didn't use any of the clarified butter. I just used just the coconut oil again and some of those vegetables, and I sauteed that now. And then like I said, I got a half a cup of the sharp cheddar and a half a cup of the Swiss cheese. So we'll start out by just breaking those egg yolks, and then I'm gonna pour the cup of cream in it. I'll stir that up, get it going. Alright, now that's mixed up. I'm going to use just a little bit of the nutmeg, and I'm going to use the small holes on the nutmeg case. And what it is, that nutmeg and cream goes really good with crab meat. So that was 8 shakes of that nutmeg, and then some more of that crazy mix up salt. And this is just really seasoning to taste, and because I know that all my ingredients are nice and flavored because I cooked them and sauteed them with that stuff already, I don't need a lot of that salt. It's just something to take the freshness off the eggs, really. And then just a little bit of parsley. Yeah, stir. And my assistant is going to stir while I hold the bowl. Alright, let that dry. So we're going to get that mixed up.
He's so fast.
And there's my mixture right there. So I'm now going to move this to the side. Make a little bit of room. Bring the pie crust to the front.
Oopsie, Daddy.
Oopsie. Yeah. Where the pie bandit broke my pie crust and ran off with a piece. It's okay. No. So I'm gonna take and layer in some of the crab meat. Sorry. Stop. Some shrimp. Put in some of the lump crab meat. And when you're putting this stuff in your pan, you do want to leave some space. You don't want to pack it down because you're going to need room for that egg mixture to soak down in there. Alright. Gonna take some of my bacon.
Baby, look. Catch your media with the bacon. I got enough bacon. You have some leftover bacon left over.
And then what I forgot to do was mix my vegetables in with my egg mixture. So I will do that before I put this finished plate in it. But you can see that's the it's about what you want right there. You don't want to get too full. You want to have some room. And I used about half of all of those ingredients because this recipe is actually for 2 quiche. So I only have 1 at the moment. So you can cut everything in half.
You're shaking on the cheetah.
Only half of it.
It's a cookie.
That's the cheese layer. So now I'm going to go back. Hold the pan. We're going to put that in there. Hold it up so I can put it in there. We're going to put it in here. Bring it over so I can scoop it. So, forgot to mix this in before. Thank you. I'll let that stir. You hold the bowl. Just get those suspended in that egg mixture. And I do have my other pie crusts. Don't eat that. No.
It's me. Where is it, Dad? Dotting it?
With your hand. So I'll go ahead and I'll just drizzle this right on top. So that's about half of that mixture. Then I'll just take my spoon and move it around to make sure that that egg settles in all the way down to the bottom. Alright, so there she is, one seafood quiche. And I got enough ingredients to make the second one, but this was just, if you don't want to make 2, just cut all the ingredients in half. But I'm going to put this in the oven, and when it comes out, I'll let you see what it looks like. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and this is the end result of the quiche that we were making. You can see I have both of them made up now, and these quiche cooked in the oven at 375 for 40 minutes a piece. And one thing I did do, I had to add 1 extra egg and a little bit of cream because I ran a little bit short on the egg mix on the second one. I put a little more in the first one. So if you want to look at the recipe, just go ahead and say it's 1 cup of cream and 4 eggs instead of 3 eggs, and that will make 2 quiche. And I'll also make it easier if you do half a recipe, because you don't have to use 1.5 eggs. You can just use 2 eggs on the half of the recipe. So you can see they both turned out really nice. I'm going to cut it and plate it, and then I'll take a shot, and you can just see what the end product looks like on the inside of the quiche. But this is the end of the seafood quiche recipe from Papa Top 912.